Go ahead and take your seat there, Representative Imes. First order of business is roll call. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Senator Berg.
Present remotely.
Senator Embry. Senator Hornback. Senator Smith. Senator Turner.
Here.
Senator Wheeler.
Here.
Senator Wilson.
Here.
Senator Wise.
Here.
Senator Yates. Senator Smith. Chairman Higdon.
Here.
Oh, Senator Storm.
Here.
We'll count you, I guess.
You just got exercise from the committee.
Okay, well, before we start this morning, a very good friend of ours, former state representative, former state senator Joe Bowen passed away yesterday, and we want to offer our condolences to Vicki and the family, and keep them in our prayers. And if you don't mind, if it's appropriate, let's have a moment of silence for Joe Bowen, the defender of democracy. Thank you, and also want to continue to keep CB Emery and his family in your prayers as he fights his fight. And so with that said, Representative Imes, if you will identify yourself for the record, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chairman Higdon and members of the committee. I'm Mary Beth Imes, State Representative of the 5th District. House Bill 279 is a bill that was brought to my attention from a mother of an autistic child who had just gotten his driver's license. We know that law enforcement officers know how quickly a simple traffic stop or accident scene can escalate. House Bill 279 would simply eliminate an unnecessary barrier to communication and help keep everyone involved safe and well served. At the time of application for registration or renewal, the owner or lessee of a motor vehicle may, it is optional, it's not mandated, to inform the clerk that he or she or someone who may be operating the vehicle is deaf or hard of hearing or has a communication disorder, and request that information be included in the Kentucky Vehicle Registration System database. This would allow law enforcement to be made aware of this if this person were to be stopped. Also, the county clerk shall post a permanent notice informing the public of the availability of deaf or hard of hearing or communication disorder designation in the Kentucky Vehicle Registration Database.
Motion on the bill.
We have a motion on the bill and a second. See no questions. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Berg. Senator Embry. Senator Hornback. Senator Smith. Senator Storm.
Aye.
Senator Turner.
Aye.
Senator Wheeler. Senator Wilson.
Aye.
Senator Wise.
Aye.
Senator Yates.
Aye.
Chairman Higdon.
Aye.
Yeah, we're good.
Motion carries. Same shall pass. The
You want it on consent?
their motion for consent.
No, good. Mr. Chairman, I was going to ask it not be out.
Okay, we have a motion not to put it on consent, and I assume that Senator Turner will be carrying that on the floor for you.
Okay. Thank you.
And
I appreciate your consideration.
well,
Thank you.
thank you for being here, and thank you for the good piece of legislation. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is Senate Bill 347. And that happens to be my bill. So I will turn it over to Senator Storm as soon as I find my notes here to take out with me, and we'll get underway. I just looked at all that. I got it.
Senator, please identify yourself for the record, and then you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Jimmy Higdon, 14th Senate District, and this morning have a really a simple bill. This simply the Infrastructure Act that was passed by Congress some time back. There's $10.2 million coming to Kentucky for electric vehicle infrastructure, charging stations and whatnot, and it's and the state of Kentucky. I think the date is August 31st. That they have to have a August 30th. They have to have a plan into the federal government how they intend to administer the grant program and this EV charging station program. And it's a consideration for future charging infrastructure needs for school systems, public transportation, counties, municipalities, and other private and public users. And also it asks them to look at the feasibility of putting charging stations at highway rest areas in case that prohibition is lifted under federal law. And also to look at how they will administer matching funds. And it also states in here that they are to report to Interim Joint Committee of Transportation by July the 31st of this year. So they will report to us what they intend to tell the federal government. They're going to tell us a month before they submit that proposal. And that's basically what the bill does, Mr. Chairman.
I think Senator Hornback might have a question.
Yes, I do. And I was wondering, $10 million seems like a lot of money, but with everything you've named, I mean, it's not kind of a drop in the bucket. Do you anticipate that there will be some type of grant application, or what do you see the process being when this money comes down of how counties or communities or schools, are there going to be priorities, or how's that going to be administered?
The Senator Hornback, good question. And the first wave of the first requirement under the federal legislation is that Kentucky submit a plan of how they're going to administer and to promote these EV charging stations. And I think it's they want one every 50 miles on the interstates, and we're supposed to tell what our priority roads are in Kentucky for people passing through, and to have a plan to have charging stations in place. So we'll see what the Transportation Cabinet is working on this legislation. So I guess we'll get an idea of what they plan to do on July 31st, but. We're just asking them to make sure they include us, let us know ahead of time what they plan to do, so we know that the first time we see the plans, not after they submit it and read about it in the paper.
Thank you, Senator Higdon. Thank you.
Senator Turner had a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And this may be the wrong area to ask this question, Mr. Senator Higdon, but is there any studies anywhere in any of this that's going to look at how much electricity there's going to be used and how that's going to be, since we've got all these high electric bills in the state now, is there any study in any, and it may be, like I say, I ask it in the wrong place, it may be in another place in the legislation or something where going to have a study on that also? I'm just trying to find out.
Senator Turner, that is a really good, timely question. Unfortunately, I don't have the answer to that, but there are a lot of concerns. Once these charging stations and this evolution to electric vehicles starts, and it looks like we're headed down that road, there's a lot of concerns about our grid, electric bills, how we're going to, a lot of questions about EVs and EV charging stations and electric, how the electric grid will deal with that, and of course as a part of that, like I said, the electric bills.
One more from Mr. Chairman, if I could. Do you think it'd be appropriate to do it inquire in this arena at this time about that, or try to figure out some other area of the law that we have to put that question before the federal people?
Of course, this is a legislative process, and every bill can get better as it goes through the process. This one simply tells that the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet is the agency that the federal government wants to hear from about their plan for the implementation of charging stations, and the routes, and if we don't have a proper plan in place, then we will not get the grant money to distribute. So, if is it appropriate? That's part of the process. It might be something we need to think about. But like I said, this bill simply tells them we want to know what they're going to do.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Senator Ignan.
Senator Yates had a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman, thank you for presenting this bill before us. In the past, Kentucky's gotten caught with not having shovel-ready or plan in place when there's federal money coming through, and we got burnt. So I appreciate us being on top of this. I think this is definitely needed, especially the increase of production of the EV directly impacts Kentucky. Now that we've doubled down in our investment, if this expands, Kentucky wins. If something happens, it doesn't, we lose. So it's absolutely necessary that we be a champion of this, especially where we're located from a logistics standpoint, that we have this in place. With that saying, I have a Senate Bill 370, which would be an infrastructure, as a EV infrastructure tax credit, because with more people who buy into this, the stronger Kentucky does. So anyway, I'm fully supportive of this, and hopefully we'll hear that what I can see as a companion bill. Thank you.
Thank you, and I will give credit to the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. I know they're working on this. I know they'll be on top of it. Like I said, it's just simply keeps us in the loop. And Secretary Gray and his folks have done a great job of communicating this with us, and just want to stay in the loop.
Seeing no further questions, we already have a motion and a second. Madam Chair, please call the roll.
Senator Embry, Senator Hornback, Senator Smith, Senator Turner, Senator Wheeler, Senator Wilson, Senator Wise, Senator Yates, Senator Higdon,
Aye.
Chairman Storm.
Aye. Would you entertain a motion for consent, Senator?
I'd love that.
We have a motion and a second. Wheeler seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Should be placed on the consent calendar.
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Thank you. Our next order of business is Senator Neal. It's a joint resolution designating that Officer Zachary Cottingem, am I saying that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, because I know there was some, I mispronounced it once before, Memorial Highway in Jefferson County. And Senator Neal, really thank you for being here this morning and to speak on this matter. And these road namings we do are I think, very important. They play tribute to folks in Kentucky that, like Officer Cotton Jim, that died in the line of duty, and they need to be remembered and they need to be honored. So I appreciate you being here this morning, and like I said, I hopefully what we do here will lift the status of road naming to something that's an honor and not just something we do here in the General Assembly. So with that said, please proceed. And we will not be voting on this. This will go through us all at one time. So this morning is just simply for information. So please proceed.
First of all, thank you, Chairman Higdon and fellow members of the Senate. I represent the Senate District 33 in Louisville, and this issue came before me by individuals that I want to introduce to you that are here now of the Kentucky State and Jefferson County FOP, these gentlemen that are over here. And quite frankly, I was quite moved by this. Officer Zachary Cotton Jim was tragically killed in the line of duty while attending to an abandoned vehicle on Interstate 64 when he was struck by a motorist who had lost control of his vehicle. Officer Cotton Jim fulfilled his lifelong dream, I'm told, when he was hired as an LMPD officer in 2014. And at the time of his death was assigned to the 1st Division, which includes the Portland, Russell, and Butchertown neighborhoods. These are all neighborhoods within my district. It should be noted that those who protect and serve have a danger in performing their duty, not only in moments of confrontation. And I think that gets lost a lot because the work that they do, always the unexpected can take place. And there's something that's really interesting about this to show you how rooted this is, because his father, Dale Cotton Jim, is also an LMPD officer, and his wife, Jamie, works as a civilian process technician for the department. So this is a family all in. It's been reported that he was a shining example of what a police officer should be. And it's evidenced by a story of him supplying a bus ticket and helping to pay part of the rehabilitation costs of an individual struggling with addiction. Think about that. Those are things you don't hear, right? The Transportation Cabinet shall, as the chairman has indicated, the request here is that Interstate 64, which is in my district, from the Story Avenue overpass to the Grinstead Drive overpass, be designated Officer Zachary Cotton Jim Memorial Highway.
Okay. Thank you, Senator Neal. I want to welcome the representatives of the Jefferson County FOP here today, and thank you all for your service. Would any of you all like to make any remarks this morning? No pressure, but I'd like to offer you that opportunity if you so choose.
Just thanks to Senator Neal. I think what he said is
Well, Senator Neal, thank you. And like I said, we won't take any action on that, but this is we want to remember Officer Cotton Jim and his service. Thank you. Yeah, we'll do that next week. He didn't get that one in on time. Wheeler? Yeah. We didn't have it ahead of time, did we? And we'll do his next week too. We'll keep with the program. We have one administrative reg on here. There's no action needed on that. Do I have anybody from the Transportation Cabinet on KAR 005-150?
John Johnson, Assistant General Counsel, along with Ricky Sizemore, Branch Manager.
Thank you all for being with us this morning. This involves encroachment permits. If you want to give us the Cliff Notes version of what that what this does. I think it just changes the date.
Yeah, that's correct. We use an updated manual. The older regulation had a outdated manual, encroachment manual. It's been updated to the September 2021 manual. That's all it is.
Any questions? Seeing none, okay. Senator Hornback.
I just do have one quick question. When you updated it, when it seems like a lot of times when we pave roads and we do things that immediately after that they come in, they'll dig a ditch across it, some utility or something else. And I know it's out of necessity, but is there any follow up that after they come back and patch or whatever they have to do that they would have to come back a second time, or that you all to request they come back again because it's settled more? I just wonder if you updated that part of it and strengthened that a little bit so the roads, those patches they put in, stay in place a little bit longer and in better shape.
I'm going to, Senator, I'm going to defer to Mr. Sizemore. Ricky, can you answer that question?
Yes, I guess I don't think there was anything specific with that updated, but we do have the ability to require pavement restoration when those permits are, completed. So yeah, I guess the districts do have that power. They can require, additional pavement restoration if it doesn't comply, or if it doesn't work well, after the work's complete.
Thank you. No further questions. Gentlemen, thank you for being with us this morning. No, we have no action is required on this. Seeing no further business, motion to adjourn. We are adjourned. Thank you.